how many of us have the courage to take that risk?
It was like a dream for me.
Minnie, I'm glad to have you here today.
Thank you. Oh my God. I think I'm going to cry now.
Welcome to Dollar Dreams podcast, where we uncover the inspiring journeys of immigrants who have made Calgary and Canada their home. Today, I have an incredible guest who embodies resilience, ambition, and the entrepreneur spirit. She came to Canada in 2003 as a student. She did a master's in computer science from India, and then she came here to do another master's in computer science and optimization of matrices. Overachiever much, right? She has worked on some big names like CNRL, Telus, Syncrude, and in 2020 she started Code Ninja. And since then, a franchisee, so the Code Ninjas is a franchisee that teaches kids about coding and problem solving skills. And what started as one location has now grown to 3 locations. And she recently opened her 3rd location in 2024.
Not only that, she is mother to 3 kids, just 13, 11 and 9, and wife to Rahul Jha. I have here today Mini Goyal, the owner of Code Ninjas.
Everybody dreams of quitting their 9 to 5 and being their own boss. But how many of us have the courage to take that risk and follow and pursue that dream? Minnie has done that, and many people call Minnie as very very entrepreneurial is what the word would be. Minnie, I'm glad to have you here today.
Thank you.
And we will just have a fun conversation about your journey and your struggles and where we are today.
For sure.
Minnie, can you take me back to 2003? You came here as a student, right?
Yeah, so I was born in India, in Uttar Pradesh, Agra, the city of Taj. And I did my education until grade 12 in Agra. Then I went to Banasali Vidyapeeth to do my master's and bachelor's in computer science and mathematics. Then in 2003, I applied for another master's here in Canada. The reason I came to Canada, when I was a little kid, my uncle, he used to live in Canada. I think he moved to Canada just after I was born, right? So he would come.
Your Chachaji?
My Chachaji, yeah.
Okay.
So he used to come to Canada, India from Canada all the time. And I would see, at that time, going abroad from India, especially America, USA and Canada, Australia was a big thing, right?
Yeah.
So I always used to see that whenever he would come, he will get this special attention. And it was like a dream for me, all the things he used to bring. I think now in India, everything is available. At that time, all those things were very special. So I always dreamt, okay, when I grow up, I'll also go to Canada. So that was the reason. When I was doing my master's in India at Banasali Vidyapeeth, I started applying to universities. And I got selected to some of the universities, and then I chose University of Lethbridge as a master's in computer science and mathematics. It was thesis and research based, so I had some courses, but it was also the research that I had to do on optimization of Jacobian matrices. So it was something fascinating. I had never done research, so that's how I came to Canada back in 2003.
So, were you married at that point?
No, I was not. I was really, really young. I had just finished my studies. I had never worked in India. And I came just as a student in my early 20s.
And how was it? What were the struggle? Because the first time coming from India as a student by yourself, and then coming here, you worry about your expenses, you worry about where to live, what to eat, your tuition fees.
Yeah.
How was that struggle like? Is there anything that you
remember
for sure. From those times?
Yeah, for sure. So initially, of course, it was a huge amount. Even to buy the ticket from India to Canada, it was like 80,000 rupees, or I think maybe 100,000 rupees to get the ticket at that time. So my uncle Shiv Goyel, he helped me with the initial purchasing of the ticket. So he bought the ticket for me so I could come to Canada. It was a one-way ticket to Canada, so that's good. And then he also paid my first semester fees. That was a big help because again the fees was really high. As an international student, you have to pay almost twice or thrice the amount the students pay here. So that was around $3,000-4,000 as well for the first semester. So he took care of all those expenses, which was very helpful, having my uncle here and being out there to help me. So that helped. And then the masters I was doing, it was research based.
You were getting a stipend.
So yeah, I was getting scholarship from the university. Also, I was working as an assistant with my professor. My professor was Dr. Shahadat Hussain at University of Lethbridge. So he gave me the research assistantship plus the teaching assistantship for teaching students in the computer labs. So that helped me pay my rent and my tuition fees. So it was good. I think the biggest thing was when I came to Canada, it was all good when I was living with the family for the first 15 days, but they used to live in Calgary, right? So I moved to Lethbridge in September. So initially it was a little lonely because I had no friends.
Then cold.
It was cold too, yeah. So when you come to Canada, you are not used to, like, I remember back then, even plus 10, I used to wear jackets, and some of my friends who were maybe from here or who were here for a long time, they would just laugh at me. Oh, it's so warm. I'm like, no, it's too cold. But anyways, yeah. So, but I slowly got used to it. Yeah.
And then, did you meet Rahul after, or did you know him? And how
So Rahul is my husband, Rahul Jha. He actually, I knew him from before. So after, when I was doing my master's in India, so the masters for the last 6 months we had to do internship. So I did my internship from IIT Kharagpur. So that's where I met him. He was doing his education, his bachelor's in engineering from IIT Kharagpur. I was there for 6 months doing my internship, and we became friends. And I came to Canada at that time. We didn't know that we'll get married, but we were just good friends. And so I came all by myself. So I knew him from before. In 2004, he came for his master's at University of Alberta, and we got married in 2008.
Okay. And then before 2008, when you were by yourself here, do you remember anything specific, any struggle or any incidences that's part of your memory? Share anything?
Yeah, for sure. So after I finished my master's, there were a few things. One of the things was at that time, now things have become a little bit easier with the student permits and, work permits. At that time, back in 2005, when I was finishing my master's, at that time, there was a rule that you could only study, you can only work in the field that you studied. So because I did computer science education, I could only work in the field of computer science. I cannot go anywhere and work. And we only had like 3 months to find a job once the study permit, or like before the study permit expired. So if I didn't find the job, I had to go back to India. So that was a really, really big stressful situation, because in that time also the job market wasn't as good. So I had to apply a lot of places, and Google and everything was still new. It was not as fast as you can find jobs and stuff these days, all these websites, LinkedIn, and so I was applying to some of the websites that were available at that time. So it was like hard to find the job and get the job in the field, because I had only 3 months time. If I didn't find the job, I had to go back to India. So that was a stressful situation. So, but luckily just I think 15-20 days before my study permit was going to expire, I got a job at Intuit. Intuit is a company where they make tax software.
Yeah, the tax software.
As a very basic technical specialist. But that was okay. That was in my field. I was helping with software development as a very, very intern level. So I started over there.
Do you think like having a degree in computers was like helpful in finding a job? Because I feel like if you come from some other profession, it's much harder. If you have like an IT background, or if something in IT, it's a little bit easier.
Yeah, I think so. It was easy. I believe. I never thought about that. But but at that time, I think a lot of IT was in India. So when I got the job into it, I worked there for 6-7 months, and then they decided to move all their operations to India, and I was let go. I was laid off with a 3-month severance package, and so I was jobless again. And that was a bit stressful, because I had to apply for my PR. I didn't have enough points for my PR at that time, because my work experience was not enough.
And I would tell you one thing: the first time you're laid off, it is very stressful.
It is.
I have been laid off before as well, and you eventually during your lifetime you understand that in Calgary it is normal and it's seasonal.
Yeah.
I won't say seasonal, but like it's very much dependent on the market. However, when the first time it happens, it is
shocking.
It's shocking.
Yeah.
You have a lot of emotions.
Yeah.
You feel like maybe I'm not good enough, like all those things.
Yeah.
What was that?
That's okay. Let's go back to it.
So, so it must be very stressful time that time.
It was very stressful. I didn't tell my parents back in India or my uncle that.
And you are the eldest daughter.
I am the eldest daughter. So yes, we had 3 siblings. I'm the oldest. I have a younger sister, and my brother is like 11 years younger. So he was like really young. So when I was laid off, I never told my parents or my uncle that I was laid off, just because I didn't want to stress them. But the good thing is I have a habit of saving. So I had some savings for next 2-3 months, which helped me with paying the rent. And the other thing is at that time we were still young. So I was like sharing room with other roommates, other girls. So it was not that expensive as now that we are paying the mortgage. So it was okay. We somehow skimmed through it.
And then how early were you able to find the job?
So after that, I started applying again, going for interviews everywhere. And then I got a call from Telus that we would like to interview you. Are you interested? I'm in my mind, I'm like, yes, please. I really need this job. So yes, they interviewed me. There were actually 4 or 5 rounds of interviews in Telus. It was like really stringent. So they had like an interview with HR, with management. They had a written exam. They had the interview with the team. But finally, I got selected as a software developer over there. So yeah, so I think there was a gap of 4 months before I found this job at Telus.
And that was which year?
That was in 2007.
2007.
Yeah.
And then in 2008, you got married.
Yes. Yeah. So I was working at Telus until 2008, and I got married. And then my husband, at that time he was working in Edmonton, but then he got a job in Fort McMurray in Syncrude. So he wanted to go to Fort McMurray because it was a better opportunity for him, better experience in the plant. So at that time, after marriage, I like quit my job at Telus and joined Syncrude. I got a job at Syncrude in Fort McMurray, so I moved there.
So, and how long were you guys were in Syncrude?
So
Fort McMurray.
2013, so 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
And then you came back to Calgary?
Yeah, so that's when we moved to Calgary. I never lived in Calgary before that because we were in Edmonton.
2013, you moved to Calgary.
Yeah.
And what made you move to Calgary?
That's a funny story. So I was living in Fort McMurray, and then we were like, we had our first kid, Arya, a daughter, over there. It was all good, but I think Fort McMurray is a smaller city. It's a smaller community. I think I was just getting too bored with the small city. And I was always telling my husband, Rahul, like, let's go to Calgary. It's a bigger city. I think it was.
And your Chachaji lives in Calgary?
My uncle, Chachaji live in Calgary.
So when did this, I won't say keeda, but keeda, ye kab aaya dimag mein? Like when did you start having this idea that I want to do something of my own?
Okay. Yeah, for sure. So before we go there, so after we moved to Calgary, actually before we moved to Calgary in 2009 itself, I left Syncrude and I joined CNRL. The reason was in Syncrude, I was working as a contractor because my company was Dexcent and they had placed me in Syncrude as a contractor. And as a contractor, you never know when you will not be like on the bench, right?
Yeah.
So I was looking for something that was like more full-time. And that's when I got a job at CNRL. So I was working over there in Fort McMurray at CNRL. And when we came to Calgary, I was still at CNRL. Okay, so after we came to Calgary, I had my second daughter. So we moved to Calgary in 2013. And in 2013 itself, in December, we had our second daughter, Eva. And in 2015, we had a son, Kanan. So we had 3 kids. And then at that time, I realized I don't think I can manage a full-time job with 3 kids because there's so much commitment needed, right? At least one of the parent have to be more flexible. And that's when I started looking for ideas and opportunities. I think I looked at a lot of things. I started with, I had a friend, Srimanti, we started looking into this travel business. Like we'll have like this high class travel thing. We'll get people from India, like take them around and we'll like do this travel business. So we even started that, but after punching some numbers, we're like, okay, this is not going to work.
Okay. And what was the next one?
Because we were making like really good money at CNRL, right?
Yeah.
She was also at CNRL.
Yeah.
And we were making really good money. So we were like, I don't think we can ever make as much money over there. So we left that idea and moved on. So she's still at CNRL. She's really happy over there. And then I also saw all these YouTube videos that were coming out. I'm like, okay, I'll be a YouTuber now. So this was while working at CNRL. This was like just evening activities, weekend activities, just to try out things. So I made a channel, YouTube channel. Again, it's not easy to get viewership at YouTube.
Do you still have that YouTube channel?
I still have the channel, but I don't
tell everybody what the channel is.
It's called Chic Buddies. CHIC.
Oh, Chic Buddies.
Chic Buddies.
Nice.
So I used to basically take videos of my kids and put it there just for fun. And I don't know if it was an idea that it'll be a big business. I just started try it out, and I think it was a big thing creating your own YouTube channel at that time. So I think that was one of the
being a content creator.
A content creator, and then I realized it's not easy. It's a lot of work. It's not easy because first of all you have to come with the idea. And that. Even like if you are shooting the video for 5 minutes, you spend 3-4 hours just shooting the video. Then there's so much editing, so much, lot of work included, right? So I used to spend hours and hours editing, and then I'm like, oh my God, I don't think I have that much creativity. When you see other videos, they have so much creativity. They will probably do all these things using Adobe Photoshop and whatnot. I didn't have the time because I was also full-time mother and full-time worker, right? So I still add videos here and there sometimes, but it's more for fun now. I don't even have 1,000 subscribers still after that was 2018. So it's been 7 years.
Oh, okay.
Still I don't have 1,000 subscribers. So you know how the channel is doing.
Well, it is much more competitive now. So
yeah. So and then while I was looking at that, I found this one guy. He was a cook and he wanted to open his own restaurant. I'm like, yay, we can open a restaurant. You be the cook, I'll be the owner, and I'll be the manager. So we'll make it together, the business. So we started looking into that too. We looked at some areas, but then we punched in the numbers again. They're like, this is not going to work again because it was very expensive. And then I think so it didn't churn up into anything, so we stopped that too. Anyways, I kept on looking, and then in 2019 I came across Code Ninjas.
2019.
Yeah, 2019.
Just as the pandemic was starting.
Just before, that was in I think July or August. So I was just scrolling through Facebook and I saw this ad because it's a franchise, right?
Yeah.
Be a franchise of Code Ninjas and own this franchise. So I just saw this ad, so I researched a little bit more, and then I found that this is something to teach computer science to kids. I'm like, well, this is what I can do. Because I know computer science. I've been a coder all my life. I have a degree in computer science. So this is something I don't think it's very hard to do.
Yeah.
So, but I wasn't sure if it was actually business or it was just, you don't know. Sometimes they are fake things, right? So, but after researching, I saw that their office was in Houston. So I went to Houston just to see the office, just to ensure.
So before you went to Houston, did you do any other research? Did you punch in the numbers? Did you did Google search, or you went to the Houston office first and found out more about it?
So I did contact them initially just to ask what it is, how does it work, and just did some initial math. But I thought at that time I had no intention of leaving my job. I just thought we'll just go to Houston just to see even if it exists.
Yeah.
So I went to Houston, and so it was actually there. It was not like a hoax. So I went there and I really liked, so just like how you see over here, their classrooms, because it's a franchise, was exactly the same. I got really interested into that. I thought, okay, let's start it as a side business, and why not? So I signed the contract with Code Ninjas in 2019 December.
Oh, December
2019. At that time, COVID was not a thing over here in Canada, right?
It was in March, I think, when it actually things started going into lockdown.
So and then 2020 January, I signed the contract with a landlord here that I will be signing a 5-year or 10-year lease.
Did you do any homework on so you've decided that you're going to get this franchisee. You probably found out about the initial cost. What other steps you have to do before you sign the contract? Do you have to find a location? Do you have to get your loan approval, like what are the other things?
Yeah,
that is
so
involved?
definitely. So what happens is if you are signing up with a franchisee, probably with any business, if it is like something you cannot pay out of pocket, you do like need a loan from the bank. So when
Let's say if you're able to pay out of the pocket, is it still better to take a loan?
I think so. The loan helps you just if in case you're out, like if you have a loan, you can just use that money towards building the your location, right? And the money that you have in your pocket, probably you can use it for operations.
Tax benefit also.
Tax benefit. I don't.
So, for example, like maybe in the first year you're not making that much money, but that could go towards
the loan. Yeah. So when you're filing your taxes, definitely you will show your loan as an expense. So you will get a tax benefit. But if you're paying from your pocket, you can also show the loan as from the owner. Right. So you can still get the tax benefit from what I understand.
So then location is the next thing.
So yeah, once I knew, okay, I want to go ahead with this franchise. So in what happens in franchise, they have territories because they have multiple locations in the same city. So they don't want you to be closer to another code ninjas because otherwise you're competing with them, right? So they have territories. You have to find a location within that territory. So I did. I found this location and I was like really happy with the location just because I live very close to this location. So I thought it'll be really helpful with kids and stuff. I don't have to travel like for like 30-40 minutes, 50 minutes just to go. So I found this location was good. The rent was a little bit higher side because this is a little more expensive area, but we did some number. We thought, okay, let's go ahead with it. I think this is a good community and I think we should be able to get students over here. So we found a location, then we applied for the loan. When you're applying for the loan, you have to punch in the numbers, you have to show the bank why you need that much money, you have to do full...
So I think I have one question because I'll tell you, I also looked at this Code Ninja franchisee much before 2019.
Okay.
And then I was like, I'm not a coder, but my husband is. I'll go ask him. He said, I'm not doing this. You are on your own. And then I never pursued it. That's what happens to most of the people. Like it takes a lot of risk and courage to do that. What did you do to mitigate that risk? Like what made you think that I will be able to make that money?
Yeah. I think one of the benefits was that I had a background in computer science. So I was more comfortable. Like I was telling, I was talking with this guy who was like a chef. And then when he was like little backing out, I knew I cannot do it because if there is no cook, I won't be able to cook for.
So you're like, if I can't find teacher, I can teach.
Yeah. So so that was the comfort that I know this business or I know computer science, so I'll be able to take care of it if there's nobody to take care of it. So that was the, I think, motivation.
That was one thing, like how, like, because so every business will also have some running costs, right? 1 month, 2 months. Was there anything in your head that I want to be successful? I mean, what was going through your head when you opened it? Like, because it was in the middle of the pandemic. Because there were so many things that were unexpected, right? What was going through your head when that happened? You still had your job. So that was, I suppose, like a security blanket. But was there a thought process where you were thinking, okay, 6 months or 1 year, I'll give to this? Like, what was your running cost and all that?
Yeah, so the running cost, we had done some numbers because the rent was like really high. That was the biggest expense in this one. And as you're saying, the pandemic hit, like just going back, like in January, I signed the contract. And in March, they said everything is shut down. And at that time, I wasn't sure what I did was right or wrong because there was no going back. I had already signed a 10 years lease with the landlord.
Okay.
And if I were to
not even like 10 years lease.
10 years lease in 2020. And if I were to go and tell the landlord I'm going to leave, I don't know what would have been the implications. I probably a big penalty from the landlord. And if I were to go and tell the franchise, the head office, I'm not going to sign, probably there'll be another. So there was like me and my husband Rahul, we crunched in some numbers like it's going to be like at least $100,000, at least in penalties that was there. And then we were like, if we were to go ahead with it and it doesn't cost, we don't make any money, how much would it be? That was still $50,000-$60,000 for next 6 months. You can
survive for like 1 year.
Yeah. So I thought, either way, you have to go in the valley.
Yeah.
You just go on the hill and see what happens. So,
Yeah, I remember like I spoke to you and you said some time back that we thought that we are young, we can still make
Yeah.
that mistake.
Yeah.
If it's not a good option, we can still recover
Yeah.
from it.
Yeah.
So I think that was really good.
That was
thing.
the thought process. I still have that thought process even today. Like, I'm always inquisitive about learning new things, right? So I think I might not be 5 years younger than 2020, but still okay to just try out things. It's okay, because what I feel is, like, when I came to Canada, I came with a zero.
Yeah.
I had nothing in my hand. I mean, even my uncle helped me with getting the ticket here
Yeah.
and the initial tuition fees. So I know how zero feels like, how negative feels like. I didn't have a job for like 4 months. I know maybe for my kids it might not be easy, and initially it might not be easy for me if I ever touch wood, God forbid, I have to go there. But I know how it is.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
So you're not afraid of that.
I'm not afraid of that.
And then once you started, at what point you like broke even?
I think we broke even in 2021. So
1 year.
1 year. So what happened was, so our construction was done in the end of August 2022. In September 20, no, not 2020, sorry, 2020.
2020.
Because we started our construction in March 2020, just before the COVID hit, we had started the construction. And then in September 2020, we were done with the construction. We opened the business. Thankfully,
and what was your initial investment?
So I think the initial investment, if I count the loan,
the like construction, the franchisee fee, the training.
So I think it'll be close to $300,000.
$300,000.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a huge amount.
That's a huge amount. Yeah. So that was one of the reasons to take the loan, because I don't think I had $300,000 in my pocket to pay all by myself. So the loan helped a lot. So Canada government has this small business loan. So if you get that helps a lot. And I think it is a good thing that Canada is doing for small businesses.
Yeah. And then, so you broke even. So it was August 2020 when the construction finished.
Yeah.
And then you started the classes
in September 2020.
In September 2020.
Yeah. Thankfully, our business was not one of the businesses that had to close down. So we could still open with social distancing or the sanitization with masks on and stuff. And anyways, because we were new, we didn't have that many students, right? So social distancing was easy because we had limited students. So we started it, and then in September 2021, I think we broke even because we had summer camps and we recouped a lot of things. But break even doesn't mean that I have paid off the loan. I'm just saying
no, break even means like
I can pay my
expense was for the year. You were able to at least make that
much money. Yeah, we are still paying the bank loan, I think, for next 2 years. But
So initially, was it a slow start, or do you think there was a need in the market for something like this?
I think there was a need in the market for something like this, because this was first thing that had happened, I think, in Canada, even maybe in US, I'm not sure, but in Canada it was the first time there was a place that was teaching computer science, coding, STEM, robotics to kids. I think there were smaller people doing in their own things at their own homes or like community centers, but there was nothing like a big business like this. So I think there was a need. We saw a lot of traction. We got a lot of leads initially when we started. So it was good.
And then franchisee helped with all the advertisement and...
So they give you templates and stuff for sure, but
you have to
we have to do our own advertising. We have to do our own marketing. So I think it was a really good business for me to learn also startup, just because Code Ninjas itself was very new at that time. I think they had only started their operations in 2017. So they were also very new and we were new too. So we were learning all together. We were growing together. So there was some help with curriculums, marketing, and some things they provided, but there was a lot of things I learned myself, like how to find a place, how to sign a contract, how to sign a lease, how to do marketing, advertising, how to talk to parents. It was like totally new, because before that I was a software developer behind a computer doing my coding. Nobody knew me and I knew nobody. Now I was talking to people and it was like huge change in my life.
And at what point you quit your job?
In 2021 August, when I saw that it's breaking even, and I didn't care. It
managed both till then.
Yeah. I think the good part was because work from home was there, so I could do work from home during the day for my business office, and then I
In the
would come
evening.
here in the evenings to do the business part. And then by that time, I also hired some staff, so they would be there, so I didn't have to be here all the time.
Right. During the COVID time, it picked up. And then when did you start to open another location and then the third location?
Okay, so the second location we opened very fast. Yeah, in 2021, I opened the next one in Chestermere. And then the third one we opened last year in 2024.
And do you have like family support? I know your brother also works with you in this franchisee.
Yeah.
And how are you managing these 3 locations?
So for management for the locations, I have staff. I have, my brother, he is in film and video industry, right? So whenever he is not working there, he will work there. So he's, you can say my butt, like, yeah, he's working with me together for in this location at West Springs. In Chestermere, I have a manager. I've hired her, and also in the 130th location in Calgary, we have a manager. So it's okay. And I'm always there, not physically, but I'm always on my phone, making sure things are getting done. I'm taking calls all the time from everybody, and then I'm doing all the counting.
So how do you think you have more, like, obviously you have more freedom and control over your time, but do you think you have more freedom now versus when you were in job? Or is it like, what are the perks of being your own boss?
The perks is, as you said, like, I have my own time. So today, if I don't want to work, I can decide not to do so if I have staff to manage things, and I know like things are going okay. And if I have to, let's say, go to India for 15 days, I can decide to go. I don't have to worry about asking my boss, can I go, get approval. I think all those things help. But I think that is the main thing. Like, I can do things on my own time, the way I want. I think that's the biggest perk.
What's the biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge is finances, because there are times where the business will go down, or maybe one of the location is not doing good or not making enough. It's maybe in negative, maybe, I don't know. Then it's all the stress that you have to go through. There are times where, suddenly, one staff says, I cannot come, right? And then you have to rush in the middle to go and help out. So you have to be, ready for anything, anytime. And it's I know it's not 9 to 5 job, it's a 24 hours, 7 days a week job, because you're like, okay, if I don't do marketing, my camp is coming. If I don't do the marketing, it's going to not get enough people, right? So I'm always, it's always in my mind.
So you're like always
thinking about it. Even sometimes at 8 or 9 p.m. at night, or even at midnight, I'm doing things for my business. So sometimes I feel that I'm not like spending enough time with my family. Or sometimes I'm spending way too much time. I don't know. I don't think it's ever way too much.
Okay. I also heard that you had another business idea. You had like some drinks.
Oh, yeah.
What is it called?
It's called Tela. Tela means cart in Hindi, right? So, or cart means Tela in Hindi, actually. So this was the newest idea we came up back in 2023 with another friend. His name is Kshitij. So we were just, chit-chatting, like, okay, I'm always, thinking about something going, like, let's do this, let's do that. So we thought we should have something of our own brand. And that's when we thought, okay, what we can do. We were like looking into different ideas and different app. And then we came across this, like, there's this Indian drinks, lassi, which is, but whenever we go to the restaurant, there are only 1 or 2 flavors.
Yeah, like mango.
Mango lassi or sweet lassi, that's it. Maybe sometimes strawberry lassi. And most of the time, the mango lassi is just made from, that, I think, pulp, right?
Yeah. So,
and it tastes not that good, right? Yeah. So we thought, okay, why don't we make our own lassi? So that's when that idea of Tela came up. So we started,
And still going on, right? Sort of, like whenever you feel like it.
So I'll tell you the challenge. What happened was, we came up with the idea, we created the recipe and everything, and we did I think 2 or 3 times we went to these events and for taste testing, and people really liked it. So, but at that time we were making only small amounts, and we had this partnership with one restaurant. We gave the recipe to them, they made the drinks for us, and went well. But then when we wanted to, like, make it bigger into bottles, we had the issue of, uh, the bottling plant is not here. So at least we did some research. We couldn't find a bottling plant that can make in small amounts for us initially, because we don't want to spend way too much money and not even sure if it's going to, people are going to buy it, right? So, but we couldn't find any bottling plant locally in Calgary or nearby where we can just bottle our drinks. So that's why we've shelved it for now until we are able to get that.
Maybe there is another business idea. Somebody open a bottling plant.
Yeah.
Calgary needs it.
Calgary needs it. Definitely, because we have so many ideas, but there's sometimes limitations.
But then they have like these kombucha bottles. I'm sure there must be somewhere they are bottling.
I think one of the other things with lassi is because it's a
milk
dairy product.
Yeah,
it needs refrigeration and it has very limited shelf life.
Right.
So, like if I was probably those kombucha drinks and stuff, they have a shelf life of 6 months or something. So they can probably get it done in US or Mexico or maybe other parts of the world, and then get it here because there's enough shelf life. But lassi has a refrigeration requirement plus small shelf life, so that's why it's shelved for now.
So what would you advise for anybody like a new entrepreneur or somebody looking to buy a franchisee? Like from all your experiences, what would be your advice to them?
I think the advice would be whichever business you are doing, be it a franchise or be it your own business, you should know that you will be able to run it by yourself if you have no help. Right. So that is one of the things. So as I mentioned, I don't think I can run a restaurant because I am a very, very bad cook. I just cook to survive. So I cannot open a restaurant, but coding was my strength. So that's the business I ran, or something that you are good at. First of all, you should, or even if you're not good at, you're ready to learn and you're ready to explore those ideas. Because there are some Code Ninja owners who don't have a coding background, but they're able to run it because they learn basics and they're good at probably marketing and sales and stuff. So they hire people accordingly. But you should be confident enough that you can take it forward. That's one of the things. And second thing is that you should be able to take the risk that if it doesn't work, you might lose a lot of money, lot of time, lot of effort. So that is one other thing.
Maybe, I won't say backup plan, but in your case, you had a computer science degree, so you can always go back to being a computer science engineer.
So I think that was there were two benefits. One of them was like I had a computer science degree, I had experience for many years, so I thought even if it doesn't work, I can always find a job. Maybe not tomorrow, but maybe soon enough. And secondly, my husband was working and he was earning,
so there was
right?
a lot of family
so I
support.
thought even if I'm at home for some time, we will still be okay for now.
And you mentioned your brother is a partner with, like he works with you, and he also has a photography business.
Yeah.
And so he's like a photographer for events. And
so my brother, his name is Goyel. He is not only in photography, he also make videos. He's also done like himself. He does acting and also helps in video and direction. So he's also worked in some of the Hollywood movies. Ghostbusters, the ones that were shooted here in Calgary like few years. There was Ghostbusters, there's Last of Us, and I think there was another one. So he was part of the production group over there. And he does make videos and of small businesses and take photographs of events and helps out here in Code Ninja. So he's my right hand.
Just so you know, we are sitting here in one of the Code Ninjas location.
Yeah.
I have something from your husband, a note for you.
Okay.
So I'm going to read it word by word so that I don't mess it up.
Okay.
He says, Minnie is the most incredible woman I know. Her intelligence, kindness, and unstoppable drive to make things better inspire me every single day.
Oh my God. I can't believe. Are you sure he wrote that?
I'm 100% sure he wrote that. I am beyond lucky to have her by my side. Her unwavering support and gentle push to be my best have shaped me into who I am today, and I can't thank her enough for this.
Oh my God.
Really? Heart sign.
Thank you. Oh my God. I think I'm going to cry now.
And he has some questions for you.
Oh, a question for me.
Yes.
Okay.
How do you get so much energy and drive in your life to do more?
I don't know. I always want to grow. I always want to, I get, if I have nothing to do, I get bored. And then I'm like, I always want to do something, explore new things. And I always want to look, now since I started in this business. I always want to learn more about new businesses, maybe try my hands into some things. Sometimes I don't put too much effort in there, especially money, because I know if I that's very precious. But I just like to learn and see if there's something I can, implement new business, help out people and stuff.
His second question is, if you could change one thing in your husband, what would it be?
Now, after saying this, yes. All my complaints have gone aside. I think nothing.
Nothing. You don't have to
If you
change
had not
anything.
said that, probably I would have.
Now you have the recording.
Now you have the
Anytime she asks you to say change anything, you can just show this.
Yeah, maybe one thing is like he should be open to traveling more. He's more of laid back, want to sit at home, chit chat with his friends, spend time with friends and family. He's not a traveler. I like traveling, so I have to like force him to go with me.
Okay, and last one from him is, if you want to change one thing in your kids, what would it be?
What it be? Listen to me, help out at home a little bit. But I know they're still kids, but they're okay. I'm
okay.
crying with the statement he said.
And before I close, do you want to tell something about Code Ninjas and how is it helping the community? What are the programs here and what are the events that you run?
Yeah, for sure. So Code Ninjas, as we initially talked, it's a place for teaching computer science, robotics, STEM to kids between 5 to 14. So we have a lot of things that we run. We have like evening classes for kids between 5 to 14. We have junior classes for younger kids and the actual like robust coding classes for kids 8 to 14, where they learn JavaScript, they learn Python, they learn Unity, C#, everything. So they can make their own games, video games, like develop their own video games, and they can write apps. And we also have camps throughout the year during the PD day, the summer break, spring break, winter break. And we also do workshops. We have a workshop coming up this weekend for artificial intelligence for high school kids.
So what's the age of the kids?
The age of the kids is between, that's for grade 10 to 12. And then we have another one on February 23rd for grade 6 to 9. And we also do like birthday parties and stuff if the parents are interested. I think one of the really good thing I like about not only like teaching younger kids, giving opportunities to the staff members, because most of my staff, they are either high school students or they're university students who are like studying computer science or mathematics or engineering in the university or doing diplomas, right? So there are many times I will get a resume, they don't have any experience and they're looking for experience. So I will interview them. And if I think that they have an attitude of, working with kids and they're ready to learn, I would hire them. So this gives them a ground to get the first experience, which helps them go and get a good job once they're, this is a good job too, but like a job in a bigger company, some experience.
So what is the age of your teacher? Like, is there any minimum age?
So generally the minimum age is 16. So they will work in, like when they're doing like grade 11, 12, they will come and do their internship over here. That helps when they're applying to universities. That will help as experience.
And then, what background do they need? Do they need to be good in, like, do they have to have some coding experience? Do they get to learn here?
So they do get to learn here. Like if they don't have coding experience, that's fine. We have a curriculum and we have the content the teachers can go through. But yeah, they should be open to learn coding. That's important because...
So I'm asking this because soon we will be in summer and then there would be kids looking for summer jobs. Yeah. I have one here. So if you want to apply, this is what you need. You just need to have you should be a quick learner and you should have a good attitude and you should love to teach.
Yeah, and should be like good with kids. Like you should be open to work with kids because not everyone wants to work with kids. Because sometimes working with kids might be a little challenging because kids are kids. They will not listen to you. You should be open to be patient, be have a listening ear. That's more important. And then so we have had like senseis even from the university when they did the job here, and eventually they got hired by Apple or Microsoft and stuff when they finished university. So they were like, okay.
We'll put the links. Do you have like an Instagram page for Code Ninja?
Yes, we do.
We'll put all those things in the show notes below, and you can go and check it out if you're interested to check out any of the locations.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you want to offer to the viewers?
Yeah, for sure. If you do see this podcast and you want to try Code Ninjas, I'll give 10% off to whoever comes through this podcast.
Actually, before any parting words, we'll just stop. Like Mridula has some, so Mridula is my partner here. She has some statement for you from other people.
Oh my
so
God.
We'll switch places for a little bit. So I have Mridula here with me, Mridula Moore, and she has some statement from Minnie's friends that she will read to her.
ओके सो 4 लोगों ने बोला है तो तुम्हें गैस करना है कि किसने बोला होगा वो.
Okay.
तो एक खुशबू है, खुशबू अग्रवाल, ज्योत्सना, क्षितिज एंड अमित गुप्ता.
Okay.
so सबने 2-2 पॉइंट तुम्हारे लिए बोले, तुम बताना ये किसका होगा.
Okay.
तो एक है फुल ऑफ न्यू बिजनेस आइडियाज, कैलकुलेटिव रिस्क टेकर.
क्षितिज?
नहीं.
ज्योत्सना?
हाँ. सेकंड गैस. सो सेकंड वन इज she is a born entrepreneur. She is very good with friends. पुराने दोस्तों को कभी नहीं भूलती.
Amit. Because he is my oldest friend in Calgary.
और तो 2 लोग चले गए अभी. प्योर बिजनेस खून. और दूसरा है कि courageous business woman, multitasker.
The last one is खुशबू.
ये मैंने ये 2 एक ही ने बोला है.
अच्छा, एक ही ने बोला है?
पर हाँ, ये खुशबू ने बोला है. So last, go-getter and community leader.
Okay, so क्षितिज. Oh, thank you. You went.
Thank you, Minnie, for being here with us. I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. I am the person who will look at all the ideas but never take the risk. So I'm really inspired by your story, and I'm really inspired by like all the business ideas you have tried and failed and tried, and congratulations on all the successful 3 locations.
Thank you.
I learned so much from it. I hope our viewers learned as well. If you guys have any questions for Minnie, please comment and we'll have it answered. Till then, keep dreaming and keep working hard. Thank you, Minnie.
Thank you.
Oh, and this is from us.
Oh, thank you.
A plan for your Code Ninja.
Awesome.
Oh,
Thank
and
you. I
this
like it.
too. As
Oh.
our thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for being our guest.
Yeah, thank you.